If it's not impossible, there must be a way to do it. This simple yet powerful motto was the driving force behind one of the most incredible rescue missions of the 20th century, a story that remained hidden for 50 years. It's the story of Nicholas Winton, a man who proved that one person's determination can change the world. In December 1938, a 29-year-old British stockbroker named Nicholas Winton was about to go on a skiing holiday in Switzerland, but a single phone call changed everything. His friend, Martin Blake, was in Prague helping refugees flee the rising Nazi threat. Instead of hitting the slopes, Nicholas flew to Prague. Europe in the 1930s was a continent on the brink of disaster. Hitler had risen to power, tearing up treaties and aggressively expanding German territory. By the time Winton arrived in Prague on New Year's Eve, Germany had already annexed Austria and the Sudetenland region of Czechoslovakia. The air was thick with fear and uncertainty. War wasn't just a possibility, it was an inevitability. From a makeshift office at a restaurant table in his hotel, Winton witnessed the desperation firsthand. He met with countless families, mostly Jewish, who were terrified for their children's future. He knew he had to do something. So he began organizing a rescue mission, a Czech version of the Kindertransport, to get these children to safety in England before the borders slammed shut for good. He provided support for a couple of early transport flights, but his 2-week vacation ended quickly. On January 21, 1939, he returned to his job in London. But his work was far from over. From his home after his day job, he began a race against time. The challenges were immense. He had to raise money, navigate the maze of British immigration bureaucracy, and secure a £50 guarantee for each child. He had to negotiate with the Dutch government to allow the trains to cross their borders, which they had closed after the horrors of Kristallnacht. And most importantly, he had to find foster families in Britain willing to take in a refugee child. Back in Prague, his colleagues on the ground worked tirelessly. They gathered documents, took photos, and navigated the ever-changing and terrifying demands of the Nazi authorities to get the children's names onto the transport lists. For the children themselves, it was a journey into the unknown. They would board trains in Prague, travel through the heart of Nazi Germany, cross the Netherlands, and take a ferry to England, finally arriving at Liverpool Street Station in London. There, strangers who would become their new families waited for them, holding signs with their names. The first train left Prague on March 14, 1939, just one day before Germany invaded the rest of Czechoslovakia. Over the next few months, 7 more trains followed, each one a small victory against the encroaching darkness. A 9th train, carrying 250 children, was scheduled to leave on September 1, 1939. But on that very day, Germany invaded Poland, and World War II began. The train never left. The border was sealed. Nothing was ever heard of those 250 children again. It's believed they perished in the concentration camps. In just 9 months, Nicholas Winton and his small team of volunteers had saved 669 children. When the war started, the transport stopped, and Winton joined the Royal Air Force. After the war, he continued to work with refugees before starting a family and settling into a quiet life. He never spoke of what he had done. For 50 years, the story of the Czech Kindertransport remained his secret. The world knew nothing of the 669 lives he had saved. That all changed in 1988. His wife, Greet, was cleaning out their attic when she stumbled upon an old scrapbook. It was filled with lists of names, photos of children, and letters from their parents. It was the complete record of the entire rescue operation. Greep knew this story was too important to remain hidden. She gave it to a historian, and eventually it found its way to the BBC, the producers of a popular show called That's Life, invited Nicholas, then 78 years old, to be in their studio audience. They didn't tell him why. During the show, the host, Esther Ranson, began to tell the story of the Czech Kindertransport, showing the scrapbook to the nation. She mentioned one of the rescued children, a woman named Vera Gissing. Then she revealed that Vera was sitting in the audience right next to Nicholas. Vera turned to him, her eyes filled with tears, and simply said, "Thank you." But the producers had an even bigger surprise. On a follow-up show, the host asked a simple question to the audience. Is there anyone in our audience tonight who owes their life to Nicholas Winton? If so, could you please stand up? Nicholas, sitting in the front row, turned around. Behind him, dozens of people, the children he had saved, now middle-aged adults, rose to their feet. In that powerful, silent moment, the quiet stockbroker finally saw the incredible legacy of his work. For the first time, these survivors learned the name of the man who had given them their lives. Nicholas Winton was knighted by Queen Elizabeth II in 2003. He passed away in 2015. At the age of 106, the descendants of the 669 children he saved now number in the thousands. His story is a profound reminder that you don't need to be a soldier or a politician to be a hero. Sometimes all it takes is seeing an impossible situation and believing there must be a way. Thank you for watching. If you were moved by this story, please like, share, and subscribe for more incredible tales from history.